What's up guys, this is Charl talking and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be talking about the Romancing Festival Charl and Muse banner. That is the second part of the Romancing Saga 3 announcement. And, well, Charl and Muse are good styles. Dream Eater is very bad, really a waste of a character. But we already have the information and that's why we are making this video. Let's go straight to Reddit. Thank you once more, Hands4A3, for doing this amazing job. He translated the video from the Taiwanese release and compared to JP, and there's so much things to talk about this banner. Well, Muse was buffed for higher will. That's always nice because it allows you to avoid ailments and debuffs, and they buffed her love as well, now reaching 100%. That's really good. Her endurance is very bad on 59, but that's something that you see on Melissa as well. She only has 58. We'll be comparing Melissa to Muse a lot during this video, and I'll do it even further on my full review, because these characters can clash, but sometimes they are even good to be used together. But let's talk about the other stuff. Well, passive number 1, on the turn begins, she has a 25% chance to recover 1 BP to the party and grants a defense boost of large effect. From all I know, it's 25% damage reduction to the party. Well, 25% chance is nothing amazing. I do like the BP extra gain, but the defense boost helps when it triggers, but it's not something that you should be relying on. Then the second passive, on the end of a turn she gets 1 BP and recovers HP as well. She will be recovering close to 300 with such a high love and charisma, guys. Then she has something extra. Screw Guard inside a passive. That's right, when all allies are alive, damage taken reduces for everyone by 20%. So that's something that we use with Final Impress, Thank Gustav, using Let's Paint, and it really makes a difference. Well, when you're using this type of strategy, you usually want a healer to keep your characters alive all the time, especially people like Polka that can heal without spending LP. And I have to say that even this Muse can be used for healing. But this is game changing and will make Muse much better than she was in JP, and she was already very good there. She replaced Matriarch in some setups. Then the third passive, damage taken reduces by 30% when being attacked, and on the end of a turn she recovers HP again. So she recovers around 600 HP when maxed on the end of a turn. And gives Scrum Guard, decreasing damage taken by 20% to everyone, and she still has minus 30%. That means that she has 2 damage reduction passives, and she won't easily die. And when we compare this to Melissa, Melissa also has 2 ways to decrease damage. And she even buffs her will. Melissa will is much higher than Muse, but Melissa has higher agility. She will always buff before the enemy, while sometimes Muse will not. Her agility is good, but nothing stellar. So just from Scrum Guard, you can already see that this character will have a very good appeal when used in hard challenges. Moving 4 skills, the first one is free, and it's a single target cold attack with E-Power. Barely more than a normal attack with other weapon types, but enough to just don't need to use bulk. And she will debuff will from target with a chance by 15%. So very nice. Then skill number 2 is a spell that will just buff 4 different status by 20% on rank 1 and 30% on rank 99. You have to manually level this up just like Melissa. She buffs STR, Intelligence, Will, and Love. And Melissa buffs Agility, Intelligence, Will, and Charisma. Well, Will is the same, right? Intelligence is the same. Melissa buffs Charisma, and Muse buffs Love. In the end, doesn't really matter because both status affects healing. But the difference here is Muse buffs STR, while Melissa buffs Agility. Agility is used to increase accuracy of MRs and spells. So Melissa was better for mage squads, so that she would increase the speed, the accuracy, and the damage. You can use Melissa for martial arts squads as well, but agility is only half of what you need to increase their damage potential. They still need STR. In the case of Muse, she buffs STR. That is the main attribute for many other damage types, like sword, great sword, spears, clubs, martial arts use half of STR as well, so she will work better in more squads because she can cover more than just mages. This is important. And Scrum Guard makes her better than Melissa because of added damage reduction. Okay, so nice. We can pair up Melissa and Muse together for mages. if you are fighting versus enemies that use magical attacks, because both will be buffing Will. But if the enemies use physical attacks, you bring Matriarch with her Paean of Victory, because that one will buff Endurance instead. Remember that Will buffs are usually more interesting than just Endurance, because it will allow you to evade ailments and debuffs. Then skill number 3 is a full AoE attack with a power and cold damage that will recover HP by small effect. In JP, you can only use this 2 times per battle. It was removed in global, so she can use it anytime she has enough BP and wants to use it. So she has 100% love. That means that this heal will be very strong, like, I don't know, maybe even 1.4 thousand when she's fully maxed, promoted, and hidden status. Polka is healing for close to 1.2 thousand now, and Polka does not even have that much love. You can see on his chef version how much he has. Look, he only has 62% love. So, this is something very nice to use when you need to heal. But here comes a big question. If she's buffing, when will she have enough BP to heal? Well, you will not need to buff if you want her to be a healer. She can actually be either a healer or a buffer. Polka needs 9 BP to heal. Well, he usually gets 4 if you are using the Chef Polka style, or even more. But Reg Robin usually needed 3 turns in order to heal, for less value. She has at least 4 BP per turn, sometimes she has 5. That means that on average, she will heal every 2 turns or every 3 turns. That may be enough to work as a healer. And as a buffer, she gets 4 BP, that means that she can buff many times before she has to skip 1 turn, just like the old Matriarch styles did. If you bring someone like So-cho that gives BP to the party, it actually allows her to work for both roles on the same time. Well, sometimes you bring 2 buffers, right? In that moment where you need to heal, don't buff with Muse. Use that extra BP you got from So-cho to heal, if you need. So, So-cho works super well with Muse, especially because Muse does not taunt. Remember that Steel Blade Phoenix taunts. That means that Chef Polka or Rag Robin will be more attacked. Muse will not taunt the enemy, so it does not change the order of enemy attacks. In the end, this character can be used just as a healer for those that skip it or don't have Polka or latest Katarina, and can also be used as a replacement for Melissa or as your main buffer now. She is even better than Matriarch. Matriarch does not have strong guard when you're talking about buffing SCR, intelligence, and will, and can still be paired up with a second buffer that can be either Melissa or Matriarch, or even people like Witch's Daughter or Novel's Daughter if you want even extra buffs. Buffs are still the best strategy in this game, even though sometimes bosses will try to break that, it's still not as common. So she will receive an OP tier, and I do believe she's one of the best characters in the game right now. Moving up, we have Charl, and he's a hybrid. He has good STR, high intelligence, but nothing really stand out. And his endurance is bad because he's, well, needing a lot of everything. That's why his will is 84, so that's not that bad. Well, Charl is all about attacking enemies that are weak to his attacks, and he will be focusing mostly on pierce, but also hit. He starts the fight with 12 VP and recovers 2 VP when he attacks weak enemies. And when he equips a spear, his damage will increase by 15%, and turns that are multiply of 3, he will follow up with this attack called Round Slicer, the same as the latest version of Matriarch. You need to use single target attacks, so you have to choose between skill 1, 3, or some inheritances. Besides this, when a weak attack lands, he has a 50% chance to follow up with Glitter Shell. That's a very weak attack, but it gives guard up small, decreasing damage taken by 12%, but if you already have someone else using guard up, this is really bad. Then he has Intrinsic Spear 4, that decreases damage taken by 40% when he resists an attack, 37% chance to evade, resist attacks, and increases damage potential by 20. So in the end, he only has 35% damage increase. It's more about the chase attacks than his full damage potential. For our skills, we have a 7 VP single target 1 with pierce and hit damage, that when the attack lands, he grants guard down medium to the enemies, decreasing their defenses by 25%, but in overall, it just increases your damage potential by around 10%. Lasts for 2 turns, okay, but you probably don't want to use this skill because you have better cycles for nukes. Skill number 2 is interesting because it's 9 BP, and this one, it starts with a spell. That's right, you need to craft a Fire Spear for Charl, and he will open with a deep power attack that is hit and pierce, nothing too stellar, and he has a chance to buff the enemy's endurance, and he probably will. Very high intelligence, so debuffing endurance by 30%, and then following up with a physical skill now that would take advantage of that endurance debuff that hits for pierce and hit, the same elements. That means that he actually works pretty similarly to Ice Cream Galahad, but will do a little less damage. I suspect around 15% less damage. And he needs a dedicated weapon that you have to craft. But 2 elements as well, elements that don't crash with Ice Cream Galahad. He will be able to solo some events. He can even use his skill 3 times in a row if you're using the Dragon Stance Axe formation. So, solo for both story mode and some events. Not all, but you can say that when on full potential, this skill will feel like double S power. Now, skill number 3 has 4S damage, it's a 10 BP skill, and it's just amazing because, well, you can start the fight using this skill, right? 10 BP. Nice. Then you will already have a chance to follow up with Glitter Shell, and when you follow up with Glitter Shell, you get an extra 2 BP. So he gets 5 BP all the time, sometimes 7, and sometimes even 9 in special occasions on turn 3, 6, 9, and beyond, when you get the Glitter Shell Chase. That means that he can keep nuking a lot, especially if you have someone else giving BP, so that he never runs out and don't need to use normal attack. He does have an inheritance that has deep power and 0 BP cost to not use a normal attack, but barely matters. So Charl is nice, but he does not beat Old Chooser for pierce damage, but it's probably the second best pierce damage dealer right now, beating at least Dark on long fights. So he will receive an SS Plus grade, not as impactful or important as Galahad. If you get Muse, I still suggest to skip Charl, and, well, we're gonna get stronger damage dealers in the future. Then Dream Eater is terrible. He got buffed for Endurance and Will. As you can see, he just wants to have a little bit of everything, save for Law of Charisma and Dexterity, but nothing here is too high. And he has a passive that has a 5% will debuff with guarantee and recovers 1 BP when the attack lands. The second one is when the attack lands, 37% chance to inflict sleep to the targets and lasts for 4 turns, but when someone is sleeping and you attack, it just awakes. So you have to keep reapplying, at least he can do it by active skills. And he also has a 37% chance to recover 2 BP when attacking. And then the last one, attack damage increases by 20% and starts the fight with 12. As you can see, he doesn't have damage, he doesn't have damage passives, and he just tries to generate a little more BP. Skill number 1 is a 3 BP skill for AoE that deals only blunt damage and tries to inflict sleep. And then it will debuff Will with a guarantee by 15% on max rank. Remember, we just got Arsenal, that is also someone that can debuff Will with a guarantee. Well, you now have this guy here as well, but Arsenal is much better. Then the second skill is B-Power, full AoE with nothing extra, but this character is not made for damage. Not having anything additional here is just a waste. Then the third one is a full AoE attack with A-Power that has a chance to buff Will by 30%. Well, you'll still be able to debuff a little further, and that is before he attacks. Then he attacks and tries to inflict sleep. The good thing is that with this, he will have a higher chance to inflict sleep. But, well, you have to keep reapplying. That means that you have to use skill number 1 every turn. That is if you can inflict sleep, because you can never inflict sleep in this game. That's why this character is very bad. I'll be giving him an S grade, or even worse. He's just very useless. In the end, we are here for Muse. She is an OP tier character that can perform 2 different roles on premium levels. And Charl is strong enough to guarantee a spot in farming and on Remembrance for spears, but nothing outstanding. So, this banner will still receive a Silver Plus award just because of Muse being so good on what she offers. But it's a bummer that we have to summon on a banner where there is one terrible unit that you will not use anywhere. Now, one last thing before I go. This version of Muse is now competing directly with Maria. This is a future style that can buff status, heal, and has Scroom Guard as well. So, this one is still used on JP, so that you can see what they are doing here. So that makes Muse better and relevant even when compared to future styles. But all in all, this is my opinion. What is yours? Please say here on the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll be pulling for Muse. I just don't know when exactly, because I need gems. But I think the character is worth. But if you don't have enough gems, you can wait. Maybe next week, Saruin and Mirza will be released. Mirza will probably have some way to heal, and Saruin is just damage, but he increases also the potential and cycles of shadow damage dealers. We can wait at least 1 week, right? So decide upon this. I hope to see you soon in the next video. Bye.